Hello, everyone. Today we're going to dive into the fascinating world of risk assessment. Whether you're in the financial sector, the non-financial services industry, or just a curious learner, this video is for you. So let's get started. So what is risk assessment? Risk assessment is a systematic process of identifying and analyzing potential issues that could negatively impact key business initiatives or critical projects. The goal is to allow business leaders to make informed decisions about risks and their mitigation. But how is it performed? Let's find out. Risk assessment involves three key steps. 1. Risk identification. This is where we identify the potential risks that could affect the project or business process. 2. Risk analysis. Here we evaluate the likelihood and potential impact of the identified risks. 3. Risk evaluation. In this step, we decide which risks need treatment based on their severity and potential impact. Now, let's move on to the methodologies used in risk assessment. There are several methodologies used in risk assessment, including but not limited to 1. Qualitative risk assessment. This method involves a subjective analysis of risks based on experience, intuition, or judgment. 2. Quantitative risk assessment. This method involves numerical and statistical techniques to assess risk levels. 3. Semi-quantitative risk assessment. This method combines elements of both qualitative and quantitative risk assessment. Let's look at some examples of these methodologies in action. In the financial services industry, a bank might use quantitative risk assessment to calculate credit risk by analyzing data such as credit scores, loan-to-value ratios, and debt-to-income ratios. In the non-financial services industry, a manufacturing company might use qualitative risk assessment to evaluate the risk of a production delay based on factors like supplier reliability and quality control issues. Now, let's talk about a powerful tool used in risk assessment. The Risk Assessment Matrix. This matrix is a table that helps us visualize and understand the level of risk by considering the category of probability or likelihood against the category of consequence severity. This is a simple yet effective way to assess risks. The two key factors in our risk assessment matrix are likelihood and impact. 1. Likelihood. This is an estimate of the probability that a certain risk will occur. It can be assessed based on historical data, theoretical analysis, or professional judgment. 2. Impact. This refers to the potential consequence or effect of the risk if it does occur. Impact can be measured in terms of financial loss, reputational damage, or other negative effects on the organization's objectives. These two factors are then used to calculate the risk score, which is typically the product of likelihood and impact. The higher the score, the higher the risk priority. Before we proceed, let's understand the scales we use to measure likelihood and impact in risk assessment. Likelihood scale. This scale measures the probability of a risk occurring, often on a scale from 1, very unlikely, to 5, almost certain. For example, a score of 1 might mean the risk is unlikely to occur, while a score of 5 means the risk is almost certain to occur. 2. Impact scale. This scale measures the potential severity of a risk if it does occur, also typically on a scale from 1, minimal impact, to 5, severe impact. For example, a score of 1 might mean the risk would have a minor impact on the organization, while a score of 5 means the risk could have a catastrophic impact. Let's take an example. In a financial institution, the risk of a data breach might be considered moderate in terms of likelihood, but high in terms of impact due to the potential financial and reputational damage. This would place it in the high priority category in the risk assessment matrix, indicating that it should be addressed promptly. Let's revisit our case study with these scales in mind. Imagine you're the risk manager at a manufacturing company. You've identified two risks. 1. The risk of a machinery breakdown, which has a likelihood of 4, likely, and an impact of 3, moderate. 2. The risk of a major fire, which has a likelihood of 2, unlikely, but an impact of 5, severe. Using the risk assessment matrix and our new scales, which risk would you prioritize? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. That's it for today's deep dive into risk assessment, the risk assessment matrix, and our risk assessment scales. We hope this video helps you better understand and manage risks in your own context. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. Until next time, stay safe and keep assessing those risks.